Welcome back to the garage. First things first, I want to say thanks to everybody for sticking with me. I know I haven't put out any content in over 2 weeks, and hopefully I can make up for that today. You might also be wondering where the Jeep went since it was in the garage. Now I would love to say that it left the garage under its own power, but sadly it did not. Now I'm not giving up on the project completely in any way, shape, or form. I just never really intended it to be in the garage for as long as it had been. With everything that's happened over the last couple of months, it was incredibly difficult to get parts shipped in for it. And not to mention, I kind of had an unexpected problem show up with it. If you would please check out my buddies at Central Oregon Shenanigans and the Fox Shop. Both of their channels will be linked in the video description below. They've helped me out pretty much since day one here on YouTube, and I honestly don't think I'd be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for them. They put out a lot of great content. Go ahead and check their channels out, and if you like what you see, subscribe to them, and just drop down the comments section and tell them Zane sent you. So let me take you down off the camera stand, and I'll show you what's going on with the Willys Jeep. Alright, so if you're wondering what happened to the Jeep and stalled this project out, let me fill you in. Now if you haven't seen my other videos on this, I've put new spark plug wires, fixed the distributor up, rebuilt the starter, put a new coil on it, new starter solenoid. I took the cables off because it'll be sitting down here and I don't want critters to get around to them. And speaking of critters, you can see what happened when I went to start this. That is the hole for the bell housing, and critters got inside. There's all kinds of sticks and rocks in there, so I'm probably going to have to end up splitting the engine from the transmission to cleaning that all out, just so I can get this little engine started up. I don't want to go too further into the project, but I don't really plan on keeping this original engine in here, so look forward to more videos on this. I just got to get a few more things caught up before the weather gets too warm. Alright, now you can see this is the 12-valve donor engine that's going in the 84 Dodge Crew Cab. I've got it all cleaned up, all new gaskets in it, painted up nice. The next thing to do before it goes back in the frame is to clean up this nasty, dirty automatic transmission. Now you can see that it's been leaking for quite a while now, and what I need to do is take this thing outside, power wash it up really good, and I need to get a few gaskets ordered for it so I can stick it on the back of the engine, stick the engine and transmission down in the frame, and get the frame ready for putting the cab back on so I can get that project a little bit further along. So let me just go ahead and show you, if you may be new to the channel, what I'm working with. Now this is the cab to my 1984 Dodge that's getting the Cummins swapped into it. There's the donor truck sitting over there, that white extended cab. Now this truck originally had a 360 V8 with a 727 automatic behind it, and we're going to a 12-valve rotary pumped first-gen engine and an automatic behind it. But the cab is in fantastic shape, and let me show you down the lower shed where I got the frame. Now down here in the lower shed, out of the weather, I've got the frame to the 1984 Dodge Crew Cab. You might be able to tell, it's kind of hard to see on video, but from the rear of the cab forward, where the cab sits on here, I've got the frame completely sanded down, primered, and painted. Not to mention I made my own cab mounts because the old ones were stamped steel and they were cracked and rusted through. So I got grade 8 hardware holding on the new cab mounts. I've got the engine and transmission cross member from the 12-valve donor truck. You can see the engine mounts are all nice and burned in. I'll also show you the front cab mount that I made. I've got new polyurethane cab bushings for this cab to sit back down on this frame. I just got to get the engine and transmission a little bit further along so I can sit it in here, clean the cab up a little bit, and then throw the cab back on the frame. Now another small update, since I'm already down here in the lower garage. The other day on Facebook Marketplace I was looking around, and there's been a guy on there for a couple weeks posting ads. I guess he bought a old salvage yard, and he's been selling off a lot of the parts that have been sitting around on a shelf. He just so happened to have this transmission, and this came out of an older Willys Jeep just like mine. Now this one does not have the overdrive unit on the back of it, but I can simply unbolt that from mine and put it on this one. I'm hoping that since it was sitting on a shelf inside of the garage that it was a good one, and maybe that was the only thing left of an old Jeep. But if you've watched my older videos on my Jeep, you'll notice that my Jeep transmission has had water in it at one point in its life. This one here goes in and out of gear very easily. I scored this thing for $100. It's the transmission with the transfer case on it. I think it's well worth it if it's in good shape. Actually, before I forget, there's one more thing I wanted to go over. Now, not only did John Fox from the Fox Shop and Central Oregon Shenanigans help me out quite a bit, these guys did as well, and these are their channels. Cody at YDoc Productions, James at Third Coast OBS, Jason at Sparks Fire and Baling Wire, and Wesley Johnson at his channel, just Wesley Johnson. Now, Cody from YDoc Productions has done quite a few tool restoration videos. He picked up an older Chevy Suburban a while back and put a lot of work into making it look nice again. James at Third Coast OBS, he's done a lot of videos on his OBS Ford trucks. He also has a first-gen Ford Lightning. Jason at Sparks Fire and Baling Wire has restored an old garden tractor. He's working on an old Alice Chalmers right now, and he's done a few machine repairs on old Bridgeport machines. And Wesley Johnson from his channel has a Ford F600 four-wheel drive just like mine that he's putting a lot of work into, putting a winch on it, making a homemade flatbed for the back of it. All these channels put out great content, and if you're looking for something else to watch, go ahead and check these guys out. And if you like what you see, subscribe to them and show them some love. They've helped me out a lot, and I'd love to help them back and get them some views and subscribers. So check them out if you're looking for some more great content. Now you might be saying to yourself, what are you going to use to get this transmission all nice and clean? And if you don't know the secret, I'm going to share it with you. Oven cleaner. 9 times out of 10, you spray something that's oily down with some oven cleaner, and you're going to clean that thing up and make it look brand new. So let me give you a little bit of a taste of what this looks like before, and then we'll come back here in a minute and see what it looks like afterwards. Let me spray this thing down, see what I can make it look like. Now don't be the cool kid in shop class like I've told you before. That's got oven cleaner all over it. It's a good idea to wear a face shield, and that power washer is really loud, so don't forget the earplugs neither. Now you can see the transmission is all nice and clean thanks to the power washer and that oven cleaner. Next thing to do is to order the gaskets that seal this up. I'm not going to do anything internally to it, just for the simple fact that the donor truck ran and drove, and I don't think I'll have any problems putting this transmission like it is in the project. But I don't know about you, I'm really excited to be back on this project and get this a little further along, and hopefully you got some enjoyment out of this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment or a question down below, subscribe if this is the kind of content that you're into, and just a friendly reminder that it doesn't matter if you're working on your project in a garage or in your driveway. What matters is that you go out there, you do the job yourself, and you learn more about your project, whatever that project may be. Now that this video is over, how about you go outside and work on something? My name's Zane, and I'll catch you next time.